hey yo, how you doing, guys? It's me, the 1AJ, representing 1/5 of them boys. So you know what that means? We're here. Yes, thank you to Big Tone who covered the AEW pay-per-view, but I am back in the bits. Not as exciting as a background as you can see, but it's prediction time once again, and this time it's War Games. Yes, guys, it is War Games Survivor Series. War Games is just around the corner, so you know how we do. Each man's going to put up his predictions in ultimate quest to be the Ministry of Wrestling champion. I have not put up the points, but allow me, guys, I was on holiday. But let's kick it off with the women's War Games, as we have Team Liv Morgan taking on Team Rhea Ripley, Team Bianca Belair. I don't know, but you know what we're talking about. Let's see which way the guys voted right now. Here we go. War Games. It's very hard, very hard to call this. Like, both sides have legitimate reasons. One side you got the two women's champions, and on the other side you got one half of the women's tag team champions, and it would have been the other half as well had she not been injured and written off. Very hard to call. I'm, however, going to go with the faces, that being Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Naomi, and Io Sky. One, let's prove that you can trust Bayley for now. I think it's too soon for a heel turn from Bayley, and plus, a bit of a Damage Control reunion going on. I think also Jade being written off gives it an advantage to the faces for the win. Had Jade not been injured, I might have been swayed another way. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna stick with the faces, even though Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae is a very good team. But yeah, enough time wasting. I'm gonna go with Team Rhea, or Team Damage Control, or Team Superhero Damage Control, and Ultra Muscle Women to win. Yeah, that's the team. Team Mummy.
Okay, so in what I imagine is going to be the opening match, you've got to bookend it with the War Games, right? You got to start with the women, because there's not going to be much payoff with the women. I have a feeling that Team Rhea is going to win this. I think on the Nia Jax team, there's been too much recent descent. I mean, if you think about it, like a month ago, Nia and Liv were basically fighting for the bling bling belt at Crown Jewel. Add in the Tiffany Stratton element, and can they coexist? And I don't think that team will be able to coexist. And Rhea returning, Bayley joining, Bianca being out for revenge for her partner being eliminated. Like, it doesn't make sense to not have Team Rhea win. Also, I imagine this is, I'm going to call it every PLE until it happens. I imagine this is finally when Tiffany Stratton cashes in her briefcase. And I've said that every time, so forgive me. Broken record here. But yeah, Team Rhea to win this, I believe.
Team Rhea versus Team Liv is going to be a showcase. And my girls in the match, Bayley. Yay. Doesn't matter. Your team's going to lose. Liv is going to win. And Liv is going to be the one to do the final pin, most likely against Rhea, so we can set that all up again, because there's only two women in that division. And I can't believe Bayley's teaming with her old teammate. What's her name? Where is she at? Io Sky. Is Io Sky? When did Io Sky become babyface? Don't know. Io and I'm not going to be together, but Liv's going to win this, even though Bayley's on that, because Bayley loved to let me down. So I'm not picking you again. Sorry. That's the reason.
Now, of all of the matches that are hard for me to predict, it's this one. The other matches, not so hard to predict, but this one, there's storylines going on within this match. There's so many things going on that any side could lose. You've got, obviously, will Miss Money in the Bank cash in finally on Nia? She could even cash in on Liv Morgan, because both of them are going to be present. And Miss Money in the Bank is right there. So she could cash in on any, because last time I checked, you can cash in on any champion. I don't think it's just that brand that they're on. I think so, anyways. But it kind of leaves that speculation open. Then there's the whole Jade Cargill situation. Who done it? Was it Naomi? Was it Bayley? Was it Io? While I even asked the elephant in the room, was it even Bianca Belair? We've seen in the past how some of these storylines get revealed. And apparently Jade is out for a couple of months, so this is going to go on for some time. If Team Bianca loses, it kind of makes the storyline compelling and interesting, because it's like, all right, now we got to go a bit deeper, because now we can focus back on the Jade Cargo situation. Does the tag team titles for the women get relinquished? Does Bianca find another partner? Will it be Bailey? Will she kind of, grow her confidence in her and then turn on her at the last minute? We don't know. But in terms of the power game and stories to tell, the champions are the champions, so they're pretty much sat and settled in their situation, whereas the other side, they've got a bit more to prove and a little bit of avengement to go on as well. So I'm gonna be brave and say Team Bianca Belair wins. Bianca, Io, Naomi, Bailey, that team are going to win. Although if the other team wins, I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, Team Bianca for the win.
So an interesting one. Be interested to see which match goes on first and which one goes on last. I reckon the women's war game match will probably go on first. Get everyone warmed up. Interested to see who wins though, man. This is actually probably the hardest match of the night to pick, because really both sides have a claim to winning, and both sides could both lose and it not really matter. I'm thinking probably we're gonna get some revelation about how Jade Gargill got took out, and that might have something to do with it. Yeah, how man? Maybe it's a setup. Yeah, maybe someone's turning or whatnot. Maybe there's a surprise return. Who knows what's gonna happen here? But who wins? Damn. You know what? I'm gonna pick the heels, man. I'm gonna pick Team Nia to win. I think it's gonna be obviously through nefarious means. Ain't gonna be no straight victory, but yeah, I'm gonna go Team Nia to win.
Big words by the big man, Big Tone. He is the only one who has gone for Team Nia Jax to win. Look, it's an interesting one. What's more interesting than our picks is there is a lady with a briefcase and she has nothing but champions around her. Will it be Tiffy time? Only time will tell. Okay, guys, let's move on let's go for the mid-card range here right now. Let's go with the US title. Let's take on the man who's got everyone saying yeah at the end of his name, taking on the returning Shinsuke Nakamura, as we are talking LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship.
Yeah, I mean, this has got match 2 written all over it, in my opinion. Nakamura and LA Knight. Man, Nakamura is one of my favourite wrestlers out there. Every time he comes back, he just gets cooler and cooler. His presentation gets cooler and cooler. And there were for so long those things about, oh, but under Triple H it'll be different. It's not different under Triple H. They see him, they see the King of Strong Style as a glorified stepping stone. And he's held both the IC title and the US title before, on multiple occasions, especially with the IC. None of them have been memorable. It sucks. I don't know why that is, but I can't see LA Knight losing. I would love it. I would absolutely love Nakamura to come in and win the belt here. But because he's been pushed down for so long, the notion of him, he's made his return, he can't lose on his return. Yeah, he can. That sucks. You shouldn't be that way. But yeah, he can. So LA Knight's going to win this one.
I didn't even know Shinsuke was still in WWE. Whoo! Anyway, Nakamura versus LA Knight. LA Knight's still quite over. And I swear he just got the title not too long ago. I say just, but probably a little while, but can't drop it yet. Not to someone who just came back or it's not that relevant right now. No offense to the King of Strong Style dude, love your tune. Anyway, love that guy, but gonna keep on LA Night. Probably opening match here or something like that, just to make it a happy night. Or the match before the main event, like in between, it's a break match. I say it like that. Yeah, anyway, should be good.
Now, the United States title is also quite a hard match for me to call because this is a new Shinsuke that we're seeing now. This is like the samurai, the dark samurai version of Shinsuke, and I'm liking this version. We've seen the heel versions of Shinsuke before, and whether it's, I don't know, it not being utilized properly, it wasn't so much of a good run. Pretty much of a joke, to be fair. And then obviously we've had many face runs as well. We've had commentators rocking out to his entrance. We've had the crowd with the whoa, whoa with his entrance. So this seems to be the third reinvention of Shinsuke, and I hope they utilize this version properly. Me personally, in my eyes, I think this is the Shinsuke that should be winning a United States Championship. But in terms of storyline purposes, this is just the beginning of the rivalry with LA Knight. Yeah. And do I think that LA Knight's going to lose this title? No, I don't really think so. He could, because he's been getting, obviously, his backside handed to him over the last couple of weeks. But I don't think he's going to lose it just yet. When someone comes back, there hasn't been too much of a build-up in order for him to lose it just yet. Would be interesting, and I wouldn't even be mad if LA Knight lost it. But for cases of storyline purposes, I think this is going to go on to the next pay-per-view, and maybe then that's when Shinsuke wins the title, where we've got a little bit more of an introduction to who he is now. So still, your United States champion, LA Knight. Yeah.
So, man, Shinsuke's back, and look, I would love for him to be on the run towards the world title, but let's face it, at this point, Shinsuke's just enhancement talent, man. He's fitter for, like, big wrestling stars in between their title reigns before they get to the bigger feuds. And that's the role that we really have for him now. It's a pity. I feel they could do a lot more with him. Hell, even sending him back down to NXT, you could do so much more with Shinsuke that way. But LA Knight continues to be on his tears. Great run. I'm really enjoying LA Knight's run. I don't see any reason for it to end anytime soon. So LA Knight for the win. Yeah.
See, I don't know if either situation is a win for Nakamura. I really don't, because on one side you have Shinsuke Nakamura loses to LA Knight, yeah, and gotta stop doing that. But if he loses, but then maybe gets to elevate onto Cody. But then how do you stake your claim and you lost? Or the other side is he wins, but then it delays him going for a title shot, and he's still stuck in the mid card. And I think the whole world is kind of waiting for the Nakamura push, which probably won't happen at this stage. I'm kind of torn, but I feel the new gimmick and element and extra edge could also just be. I hate when you bring someone in and it means nothing, So him coming in with this new look and darker side of Shinsuke that we've ever seen, losing just feels like crap. And I feel like LA Knight's had a decent run, but it could do with a bit of the LA Knight momentum. Den said it for the last WWE pay-per-view. Where's that LA Knight buzz? Is it still there? Yeah, I saw him at WWE Live. People are screaming. Yeah, don't get me wrong with saying it, but these are long predictions for me. I'm going to go with Shinsuke to win. I want to see Shinsuke win. Not hold it too long, or maybe go for a champ versus champ on SmackDown. Go for Cody, because I don't know who's next for Cody. The Bloodline are doing Bloodline crap. Let's see what Cody's got against Nakamura and a new twisted Nakamura. So unless he loses by DQ because he doesn't care about that title, but then it's pointless because he went for LA Knight. Enough rambling. Shinsuke Nakamura to be your new US champion. And call me Batista because I walk alone. Yeah, unlike Big Tone, because he had Den, who also went for the hills to win at the women's War Games. But yeah, guys, keeping it moving. I do believe that Shinsuke Nakamura will be your new US champion. Am I right? Am I wrong? Comment below. Look, I'm losing, so maybe I don't know wrestling, but it matters not. What does matter is the positioning of that match, because I think Den might be right. It might be if it all depends on the mood, but this is probably going to be the least exciting match. So normally, traditionally, there would be another match in there that is kind of exciting, but not a huge momentum one. And I think this could be the one that will be before the men's war games. However, we've positioned it here for now. Anyway, while keeping it mid-card title, let's go for the IC title. And while on this, I should note the men's IC, because there's a women's IC title coming, as well as a women's US title coming. So we're talking the men's IC title in a triple threat match, as the man who delivers banger after banger after banger, but can't seem to secure the IC title, takes on the current IC champ, Bron Breakker, the man who hits the rope faster than another, and the one who, ladies and gentlemen, I can't do it the way he does, but he does the big Imperium chant, Ludwig Kaiser, in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. How did the guys vote? Let's have a look right now.
I saw a video on Instagram where Braun Breaker ran around the ring, went to go do a tackle, missed, and hit the corner, the edge of that table, right in the middle of the chest, and that guy just took it. And he's so quick. Imagine him chasing you. Whew. I would love to see him versus Brock. Brock's going to come back, and they're going to have a match. But yeah, I would love to see him versus Brock. The two. Yeah, anyway, don't matter. Let's move on from that. Braun Breaker is going to win this because he shouldn't be dropping the title so quick. And to not be fun, if he pins the third guy in the match, where is he? Ludwig? Hope I'm saying it right. Ludwig. Yeah, so I hope he pins Ludwig, but Sheamus just missed out. And that way he could bring Sheamus, like, if he doesn't get this title, he's going to retire. And hopefully he gets the title and not retire. But yeah, that'd be my pick. Braun Breaker to win.
Now, as a fan of Sheamus, I would really love for him to complete this Grand Slam. I mean, it's the only belt that has eluded him. Although for some reason in my mind, I don't know why, but I thought that Sheamus had held the Intercontinental title. I thought he held the classic Intercontinental title, the one that Cody Rhodes revived from the previous shaped title, the oval-shaped Intercontinental title in the past. And for some reason, I really thought he held the title, but evidently not, because it's advertised now that that's the only belt, the IC Championship, to elude him. And in this fight, maybe this is his best chance of winning the Intercontinental title, but my problem is that Braun Breaker has only just won that title back. Well, not only just, but it's only been a couple of weeks since he got it back from Sami Zayn. Jey Uso, rather. So it just kind of makes it really hard. Now, obviously, back in the day, the IC title was the workhorse title, and every now and again, you'd see it change hands between a couple of superstars, which kind of made the mid division really great. But this time around, and then obviously we've had the longevity holding champions in Gunther. Records have been broken, so I don't think we're going to kind of have a repeat of that also. But a strong champion is also a credible champion, and there's obviously no limit as to how long they can hold it. I think there are a few underlining things going on between Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus, and I think the distraction between them two, obviously with Kaiser saying that he's not going to stop until Sheamus is out of here. So I think that's going to end up being a one-on-one match. But obviously the triple threat's going to be the start of it. And because of that distraction, still, your Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. Root, 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 root.
Although I do feel like now would be the perfect time to finally make Sheamus accomplish his goals, his dreams, his final thing that he has left to do to become a Grand Slam champion and get the IC title. I just don't see it happening in a triple threat match. I suppose you could do it, and it's a perfect way to keep Braun looking like strong and all that. But does he really need it at this point as a 3-time IC champion? But that's also the thing as well. He's just got the title back not too long ago, so do you take it off him so soon? Hey, you could shock us all And but on Ludwig's been doing good, man. He's been doing the business. However, man, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker's on a hell of a tier still. There's big things in store for him, and I think this is why they want that belt on him. Sheamus will get it eventually, just not now. But Bron Breakker for the win.
Another interesting match. Bron Breakker, does he retain? Sheamus, does he finally complete it? Does he platinum WWE? Or Ludwig Kaiser and give Imperium 2 parts of the gold on Raw, which would be interesting, and then only Judgment Day or Street Trash to be beaten, and they've taken everything for themselves. Um, Ludwig would be interesting, but I think it's just an interesting foil. There is the side of me that says Sheamus taking on 2 heels makes it look insurmountable, but it's his moment. I'm gonna go with Bron Breakker to retain. I feel that Sheamus will complete that. It has become too much of a storyline for him to not take it now. Mania. I feel that what we're looking at now with Bron Breakker is he dropped it not too long ago, and that was just to give a means to an end to Jay's storyline and rejoining the bloodline. It's not time for him to keep dropping at every other title defense. So I'm going to go with Bron Breakker to retain. But I wouldn't be peed if Sheamus loses. I was 1 point off at the AEW show. I don't think I'm going to be so good on this one, but anyway, yeah, Bron Breakker to retain. I'm hoping for Sheamus to win though.
If Sheamus retires, not having won the IC belt, and not retiring as a Grand Slam champion, that's going to be a condemnation, a soundbite that you're going to hear people say for years and decades to come. Why didn't they put the IC belt on Sheamus? Why did he retire not as a Grand Slam? You will hear that for years. It will be a constant talking point. People will constantly go back to it. But with all that said, Sheamus ain't winning the IC belt here. I don't see any world where they're taking the title off of Bron Breakker so early. It's just not happening. So yeah, and Ludwig Kaiser's there to be pinned. As much as I love the guy, he's class. But yeah, Bron Breakker to retain here.
Okay. So everybody sees that Bron Breakker will be the champ, but everyone seems to have love for fella Sheamus. Sorry. Back to presenter mode. Okay, guys, we've done the 2 mid-card titles, and now it's time for the world's heavyweight title as the Ring General Gunther takes on the former campeon Damian Priest, 1-on-1 for the title. Which way did the guys vote? Let's have a look.
Now, before I watched Raw this week, I was literally confident that I think that El Campeon, or former El Campeon, Damian Priest, was possibly going to get the win here, because obviously Gunther, the Ring General, has been showing a lot of doubt, the World Heavyweight Champion. Although this is a popular story where, you know, they show down and then come the day, they get one over. It's very rare that a person goes on to beat that person unless there's a real story being told here. And I don't think that the rivalry is so much between Damian Priest and the Ring General Gunther. I think it's more between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and I don't think that that rivalry is finished yet. On Raw, Damian Priest was clearly upset that Damian Priest was going on for a world title fight. And obviously showing a little dissension in the Judgment Day here, but that could be all part of the plan. And I know, for the based off fact what Finn Balor had said on Monday Night Raw to the Judgment Day group, they're definitely going to get involved. And obviously they're going to pick up where they left off, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I think the last time I checked, Finn Balor lost to Damian Priest. So I think there's an itch to scratch there. And I don't know. I just don't think that Damian Priest is going to get the win here. There were a couple of Easter eggs that showed me that there are some things that are unfinished. So still, your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther.
You know, I've been kind of enjoying this feud, but I do feel like Gunther has been done dirty, really, man. Like, You killed his mystique. I just don't feel that you really should have done that. Yes, it's very good for Damian Priest because he gets to shine as a badass, and quite frankly, he's the most badass person on Raw at the moment. So it's good for him in that way, but at the same time, you're diminishing what Gunther is, man. Like Gunther is Ivan Drago from Rocky IV, man. He's that final boss character that we should all fear. However, they've put a bit of a dent in that. So yeah, he better win. He better win. Because, if he doesn't, man, that's like going out with a whimper, man, and that'd be sad for such a great champion. But I have faith that WWE is going to, see the light. I think they're telling a story. So, hopefully, this won't be Gunther's last chapter. Anyway, Gunther for the win.
There is a part of me that really wants to see Damian Priest win, and then we've got a bit of a hot potato situation. Something most of the ministry have spoken about: a chance of seeing a championship not so guaranteed, and not these overly long runs. That would be the interesting part. But the other part of me says Damian's had his time essentially. Not that he's going to be a one and done champ. I think he's got more in him, but it's not Gunther's time just yet. That's kind of my problem with this one. I'd love to be surprised. But I'm gonna go with Gunther for the win. He held a loss against Cody. I don't think he's in line for 2 losses just like that. Maybe then he goes on to win the Rumble. This would be a good time to get him in a Gunther's lost it moment kind of thing. But no, I'm gonna go with Gunther still to retain. So Gunther is your champion. Damian Priest to lose.
It's mildly interesting, this whole loss of confidence that Gunther's going through since his loss to Cody. I'd be very entertained by them putting the belt back on Priest while Gunther's going through this crisis of confidence. Sure, but I don't see it happening. It's not the time. I think the ring general losing, it's a Mania moment. It may not even be this Mania, but yeah, Survivor Series ain't the one, man. I don't know who beats the ring general, to be honest. Funnily enough, I don't know who dethrones Gunther, and I don't know who dethrones Cody at this point. Maybe Sikoa dethrones Cody? I don't know, but yeah, Gunther's retaining here, I believe.
So, Gunther held the Intercontinental title for quite some time, and he's holding the World Heavyweight Championship. I had to look down for that because I didn't even know he had a belt, and I didn't even know that's still a belt. But yeah, it'd be cool if he loses and go for Cody's belt, but he doesn't have to lose to go for that belt. Man, let him stay on and win the Royal Rumble and make it look like he's going to double up and then loses the belt at the next pay-per-view after the Rumble, but still has the Rumble. He could go back for his belt or go for the other one. Ooh, something like that. Anyway, don't matter. I'm going for Gunther to win. I should pick Priest, but I'm going to stick with Gunther. Just because I like that guy. Can't even call him Gunther and not Walter.
I mean, here we go. Everyone seems to know it's Gunther's time, but there is this mystique of the revenge on Cody Rhodes that we're all looking for. I still stick with it. He could lose, go on to win the Rumble, kind of like what Den said, and it's there, the blemish. But just from now till January, end of January or 1st of Feb, I think it's a new one for Rumble this year. But you get what I'm saying: loss after loss after loss, and then he wins the Rumble, and then he stakes his claim. But it matters not. It matters not. Right now we're talking Gunther versus Priest. The whole world said Gunther, so Gunther to win. Or maybe the ministry don't know their ish. That's just the way stuff goes now, guys. It's time for the main event. And not only is it the main event, but it's War Games. And trust me, it's not as easy on my throat as I make it sound. Okay, guys. Men's War Games, main event. Bloodline versus Bloodline. Original, OG Bloodline, new Bloodline, Bloodline 2.0, whichever way you want to see it. Team Roman versus Team Solo. Uso versus Uso, essentially. But the Usos are all on one side, so let me not confuse you anymore. But yes, it's time. Let's see which way the guys have gone in the match that sees every Samoan member you could picture taking each other on with a help from some Tongans and CM Punk. Right, let's do this.
Alright, so men's war game match. Again, it's not so straightforward because what do we do? I tell you the one thing that throws it off for me is Seth Rollins, yeah. Now that his favorite person in the world, CM Punk, has entered that match, what better way for them to make the new bloodline continue to be unstoppable, especially adding Brunson in it, yeah, other than to have Seth interfere and I don't know, get into it with CM Punk or whatever, and that cost the bloodline their match and all that. But I think that since the bloodline lost, the bloodline won the last time when they faced off against the OGs. I don't think that's gonna happen back to back, and I also don't think that's gonna happen with CM Punk in a match. Yes, it'd be interesting storytelling if Seth gets involved and somehow ruins it for everyone. But I'm not sure that they're gonna do that, even though it is something, quite straightforward to do. So now I'm gonna go with the OGs and CM Punk to win and give everyone that happy moment. Yeah, I just don't see CM Punk returning on a loss, and I don't see with the full bloodline in full effect them taking a loss either. Especially after you made this whole big story about bringing them back together. So no, the OGs and CM Punk for the win.
War Games for the second, probably fourth time, because knowing me, I've probably said it in my intro video as well. But hey, excuse me. Right, it's Bloodline versus Bloodline. OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline to Bloodline 2.0. Well done, WWE. You've actually had me split on every single match on this card. I always said the Bloodline win, OG Bloodline win at War Games. There's a part of me that says CM Punk gets curb stomped by Seth Rollins. There is a Paul Heyman turn coming. It's not coming yet. Oh, sugar. See, my initial reaction was pick the face women for the female war games, and the heels for the men's war games. 1 minute and 10, and I've not given anything to it apart from Seth coming out to interfere. I think Seth may interfere, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cost them. I don't think there's enough. Oh God, it feels like it should be the new bloodline. Then at the final one, it looks like all's fair. It's all done. It's in Roman's hand. Ula Fala's going to go back to where it belongs, and then the Heyman screw job comes. But can they get screwed twice? Can Roman truly get screwed twice? Can you kill the nostalgia of the official reuniting of the bloodline? But these guys won before. The original bloodline with Solo won at the original War Games. This is my longest prediction in a long time, people. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to go new bloodline just because the old bloodline have won before at War Games. Seth is going to accidentally cost them. But it will be enough, but it won't be enough. But something will stop it. I don't know. Look, the new bloodline's going to win. I'm regretting saying this, and it's going to look like Roman's going to take his Ulafala back, and that's when he gets a low blow from Heyman. It sounds stupid, but I see it coming. I can't see Heyman screwing with Punk in there. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Look, screw it. It doesn't matter. I'm leaving the world in shock and heartbroken because Solo is still going to be the one who's going to have the acknowledge. I don't believe I'm saying it. Yep, new bloodline to retain. God get the first victory over the Usos. I don't believe I'm saying it, but it's happening.
What has to be the main event? I'll be very surprised if AJ's editing this and he says this is the first match. Lols. No, because I've said that because Karma's a bitch, it'll probably end up being the first match to put my nose in it. Who knew? But yeah. This is, to quote Brother Leon, interesting. Because we've all thought that the build up to this whole Bloodline 2.0 and the OG Bloodline, we all knew it was heading towards Survivor Series for War Games. Like, that's been the end goal for this particular chapter. What does make this interesting is that win or lose, whichever team wins or loses, there's not, at least in my mind, there's not a clear route of what happens after Survivor Series. Paul Heyman does make this extra spicy. And there's the words of AJ keep ringing back in my head, you know. Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns. But here's where the waters have been muddied, is the addition of CM Punk. Because think about this. If Heyman betrays Reigns here, that means Punk, by being associated with the OG Bloodline, loses the match. But now if Heyman betrays Reigns, does he go with his original guy, CM Punk? Who, argument to be made, does not need Paul Heyman because he's so over. Or does he go with Bloodline 2.0, who, let's be real, really need Paul Heyman, because none of them are good mouthpieces. None of them. You've got guy who talks to thumb, guy who makes sounds like Tasmanian Devil, guy who doesn't talk, guy who says I love you Solo, and the big Australian fella. Like, none of them good mouthpieces. And I'm sorry this is going long, whoever's editing. The issue I have, as much as I love this pitch that AJ's got of Heyman betrays Reigns, it may happen eventually. I did see the red t-shirt, that those are Solo's colours, and I know WWE love to reward people for paying attention to details like that, so there is an argument to be made here. But the OG Bloodline have been pounded for the last few months, man. Like, absolutely wrecked. They need a win. If they keep losing, eventually they're going to lose their clout. They have to get a win at some point. And in my mind, this is where the CM Punk factor comes in. Because adding him is what is going to get them over the line. Now, that can then continue the feud. It can lead into individual battles. Roman and Solo at Rumble. Roman and Jacob at Mania. Gorillas of Destiny versus Usos. Like, there's all sorts of interesting feuds you can set up with an OG Bloodline win. Having the new Bloodline win feels very definitive. It's like, we've beaten you again and again and again, and now we've beaten you again. There's nowhere the feud's over then. So, on the basis that they have to keep the feud going, I'm going to go Team Roman. The OG Bloodline has to win this to keep the story going.
So we got this match again. The old guards versus the new guard. And I think we had it already. And last time, the new blood won. Do you know what? I'm going to stick with the new blood winning this again. I keep going to new blood. The new bloodline. Reason I'm going for them. Someone's on a turn on this. The bloodline team is a bit too hodgepodge. The old school one is a bit too. Roman has done so much bad. He can't be that good right away. Someone has to give him a reason like why they want to kick his ass. So with that, someone's turning. Hopefully it's Punk that turns. But otherwise, yeah. Kevin Owens might get involved as well and cost them the match because it is what it is. Don't make any prediction on that part, but right now I'm going with the new bloodline to win.
So we are finally at War Games, and I don't know if this is going to be the main event or if it's going to be the opening show. But we are finally here, and it's like a semi-bloodline civil war because we've got added members now. You've got Solo Sikoa, you've got the Tongans, you've got Jacob Fatu, and you've got Bronson Reed going against Roman Reigns, going against the Usos, going against Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, which is, I know I say this word quite a lot, but fairly interesting because on SmackDown, when Paul Heyman came out, I mean, and he kept doing the whole 5 thing, 4-on-5, but it's going to be 5-on-5. In my mind, I was thinking F5, like, do you know what I mean? So I was waiting to hear that little guitar riff. But instead, you heard a different kind of guitar riff. So instead of that for Brock Lesnar, all you heard was and you know what? I don't know. Obviously, there was a bit of a pop, but I don't think it would have been as big if it were Brock Lesnar. And obviously, I don't know if things are still going why they can't use him. But nonetheless, I was expecting Brock Lesnar. I'm not gonna lie, which would have obviously also been interesting again. Now, in this match, the new Bloodline have been getting away with a few wins here. So I think it's about time that the OG Bloodline get one back. And I think War Games would be the perfect platform to do so because the story can continue from there. Plus, other people can show up. So my choice for the win, the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn or Sami Uso, and CM Punk for the win.
It's not often that I'm this guy. I normally can be very like, yeah, the rest don't know what they're talking about, and I've got it. This main event has me so torn because in my head it should still be the OG Bloodline, but I've gone with what I've gone for, and not a dismiss to the other guy, but when the two guys who are in the losing position are the ones who have voted that way, your confidence kind of sways. But hey, maybe we are in tune. But maybe it's just that we're too old school for you guys, and technically we're right if the old guard was still in charge. But we're not going there. We're not going there. It is where it is. It's at where it's at. It's War Games. It's War Games number 6 or 7. Okay, guys, please comment below. Let us know how you feel War Games will go and which way you think the winners are going to be in each of the matches. We would love to hear from you. Do comment below, do like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you can be in tune with everything the ministry does. Because you know what? You like wrestling, we like wrestling, so let's talk wrestling. As well as this, there will be the resuming of the indie show reviews. We are hoping to bring back the review show on the pay-per-views. And I tell you what, bit of a spoiler. Netflix, when that stuff kicks off, reviews galore, because yeah, it's going to be a little bit easier for some of us who didn't have a Sky or BT subscription. That's all I'm saying on that. But okay, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it Survivor Series. Let's keep it 2024, not 2025. I hope you enjoy the Survivor. I was going to say the Rumble. I am definitely in 2025. I hope you enjoy Survivor Series. I'm not going to say the WG word one more time. The throat cannot do it. And as I said, let's keep it going. Ministry of Wrestling on Facebook, Ministry of Wrestling on Instagram, M.O.W News on X, formerly Twitter, and yeah, you know, to keep it Ministry of Wrestling on YouTube. So until the next time, guys, it's me, the 1AJ, representing 1/5 of them boys, and we are out, and I will see you soon.